New car seats, burning churches, and burning flags have something in common when the Prime Minister has this to announce.
This will take the burden off of them in terms of family planning.
Rather than focusing
so that they can make the right choices for themselves.
On, wiping out or tapering off the population.
And actually be able to have more money to spend on the things that we know are high cost right now.
Would they consider helping women to have babies?
So recently, it became clear to me during a large grad sale that I was having, I found 4 wonderfully kept car seats. And I thought, I'm going to give these to some ladies that might be pregnant or that obviously were pregnant, and they can have them for free. Well, this story developed, and the thought of the burning church, the burning flag, and a Prime Minister talking about women's reproductive organs. What in the world is going on in this country?
Similarly, we know women are increasingly challenged with the high cost of getting an IUD or getting prescription contraceptives. This will take the burden off of them in terms of family planning so that they can make the right choices for themselves and actually be able to have more money to spend on the things that we know are high cost right now. This is a measure moving forward on pharmacare negotiations with the provinces that will help Canadians in their health and help them in their pocketbook.
With respect to all the money that is going into protecting women, I'm wondering, would the government instead or in addition at some point choose to direct the funding towards...
At least there was an MP that did stand up to question the government's funding of free contraceptives.
Rather than focusing on, wiping out or tapering off the population, would they consider helping women to have babies? Would they consider helping women to have babies?
Yeah.
But does the government have anything to do with a woman's reproductive organs? People, think about it. If your country has a Prime Minister talking about reproductive organs...
Similarly, we know women are increasingly challenged with the high cost of getting an IUD or getting prescription contraceptives.
There is an expiry date on each car seat, and I had no idea that that is why the ladies who we offered these car seats to for free wouldn't take them. The car seats are expired. I have 39 grandkids. Every one of those children needs to have a car seat as they are born, brought into a car, taken home. And in many cases, that car seat had to be bought. That cost had to be carried by mom and dad, not by the government, and that's fine. What is in the minds of a culture that thinks that a government has to help women get babies or not get babies? Now to those burning churches. And in Canada, over 100 churches have been burnt. It's almost as if the culture around us in Canada says, we don't want churches. We don't want anything to do with churches, which means you don't want anything to do with God or what the church teaches. Can it be any other Can there be any other explanation to that? You don't want a church to teach you anything. You want it gone. You want it eradicated. You have given it an expiry date. The expiry date of churches in Canada has come about. We burned them. But when you see the government paying for contraceptives, then you have to ask yourself, they don't want churches, they want them eradicated. There's an expiry date on the church. But they will pay for you not to have babies.
Fantastic news. The pharmacare legislation has just been passed through the Senate, and that means we're one step closer to make sure that Canadians everywhere in the country can get the diabetes medication and the contraceptives that they need. This is going to be truly transformative for millions of Canadians. Through this plan, we're making contraceptives free. This means the cost will no longer be a barrier for women to choose the best option for their reproductive freedom. Make sure they have full autonomy over their own bodies.
Well, then those car seats will remain empty, and you are actually not only burning down churches, but you are burning down your nation. Hence, the burning of the flag. Why do we need this flag? Let's burn it. Let's get rid of it. Let's hate this country because it is adrift. It has no moral standards any longer. So what are we going to do with the car seats? They've been rejected. What are we going to do with them? Governments are not going to help to pay for them. In fact, governments shouldn't help to pay for them. Families are able to regulate themselves. They have always been able to regulate themselves. But in a world where it is believed that government should take care of us, well, I guess this is what happens. We burn the church, we burn the flag, and we get the government to take care of us from cradle to grave. But it's not even from cradle to grave anymore. It's to the grave. It's into the grave. That is what happens with the burning of churches, with the burning of flags, and with car seats that remain empty.